What'd you do, Lonnie? Unmute?
It's huge.
She did something that's hilarious. I don't know what's going on. Why are you laughing so much? So you got us on hold here, Lonnie. What are we doing? Oh, we're good now. Apparently we're good now. So I have a very large beer. You got a mug.
I got a mug I'm going to just keep flinging around because it's pretty rad. It's a pretty rad mug. And it's the only bit of merch that we got that is actually acceptable. I did a merch thing the other day on Twitch saying, hey, we got our new merch. And I was very excited about it, that we were going to get something. And I got a hoodie and a couple of shirts and you can see, and we did it. And then it's like, no, it's shite. It's like they ironed it on with, I don't know, with something, but they did. And they didn't send me the mug, but they just sent it to me today,
Wow,
just in
late.
time for the podcast. So there it is. That's the Kids on the Escalator official coffee mug. It's giant. It's like, see, it's like a big mug.
Wow.
Now, because the other merch didn't work out, these were going to be $9.99. They're now $79.99, but they're really, really good. They're, and this is acrylic. We actually reached out to Seth Rogen because Seth Rogen is doing pottery now, and I got him to make this for us. So yeah, there we go.
That's
where the price is. Yeah. Anyway, just $79.99.
That's a
there
good
you
deal.
Go. And if you buy two, they're only $78.99. So do yourself a favor, friends.
There's only one left.
Anyways, you got a real beer. I've got a not real beer, but still tasty treats from my friends at Partake.
Okay, well, there you go.
It works. What's going on over there? You guys cold and freezing like we are in Vancouver? And by cold and freezing, I mean -3.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, so I guess we're kind of like that. I don't know. It was nice out today. I don't know. Picked up a few things. It's okay. We're going to the green zone. Excuse me, in here in Kingston because we've been behaving properly.
Sounds like a movie. Green zone.
We're in the green zone. Yeah, so I get to it's always the green zone here, right? But
yeah,
I get to go to the comic book store and I got to get a set of strings for my guitar. Got to get some inking and drawing supplies from Michael, so I'm looking forward to that and helping support the town again. Some of the smaller business. One of them is a big one, but the rest of them are smaller that I got to go to. I think. Yeah, I'm stoked.
Is Michael's? Is there a local art store though that you could go to, or is Michael's kind of the go-to for what you need?
For what I need, Michael's is it. I haven't seen any other stores that really have that. If you're out there, let me know. Our cat is bouncing around on here.
Your cat's nuts.
Dude,
like every single time you
podcast-
do a show, there's a dog peeing on the floor or a cat jumping on your head.
Beans, that's what
Something's
Beans does.
going on there.
Beans does that to get our attention. He'll jump like on the table, or if you're on the couch, he'll jump on you. That's Beans, Darth Beans. That's what he does.
Yeah, I like the beans. The beans is good.
It's a good guy. He's annoying, but yeah. So we're gonna be free here soon. We can do stuff, right? Like, my folks are looking forward to going out for dinner. We're gonna have them over for dinner, and then, but I say the comic book store downtown because I go to the when I go downtown. Comic book store Nexus, I can browse through the dollar bins, and that is so therapeutic for me. Any comic book fan knows that dollar bins are just where it's at, and I'm finding all these Star Wars ones lately too, so it's really stoked. So I'm looking for.
Are the dollar store bins though in a comic book store? Obviously, the guys that run the comic book store, they're not. I mean, they're not really putting any gems in there, are they?
Oh
They're
yeah,
just kind of.
yeah, they are, and they laugh about it too. You got to find it. Oh yeah,
You got to find it.
I wish I had my stack here of some of the dollar books I got. You'd be like, what? Yeah, you just got to look, man. You'll find them. There's
Like,
good stuff in
would you
there.
go through like 40 of them and go, oh shit, that one's worth $60? You know what
Not
I mean?
yet. You see ones that are going. No, that's pretty tough to do. But you can
Right.
see ones that are eventually going to be worth that much money, or ones that like a comic book goes for $5 these days. So to find like a Star Wars one from last year for $1, I'm all over that. Like I got a couple Boba Fett ones that a buddy of mine text me up and say, "Oh man, where can I get this? Is this like easy to find or whatever?" And it's like, well, it is in my neighborhood. I don't know about you, man, but yeah, I just love dollar bin shopping because you won't find anything unless you go. See, nowadays there are some, of course. Like I was mentioning that the WandaVision has pumped up a few of the Avengers West Coast comics, right? That people might not be privy to, and some of those would have been in the dollar bin last year, or whatever, or a few years ago. So if they haven't checked their bins in a while, then you find some good stuff in there. But when I go down to Nexus, they always smile when I bring up my stack because they know that I find the gold in there. And I take my time and I like it. My wife goes for coffee, grabs some. No, she doesn't go. She grabs coffee and goes to shop at some little cool stores on the main street of Kingston. Because Kingston is very friendly and very, very clean, and lots of cool shops, variety of shops. It's really awesome. I got to get down and go skating sometime. I really enjoy Kingston.
Define green zone though, because you mentioned that you were able to go out for dinner with your parents, but like, so for instance,
That's what we're
here
gonna do.
you can go. I went to the dentist today. That was exciting. You can go out. You can grocery shop. You can go to a coffee shop. You can mask up and and order a coffee and then sit beside 40 people without one. Anyways, we won't get into that. So then the whole process, but are you allowed to have like people in your house or no? It's just you can go to a restaurant and sit, because you're only really allowed here to have people in your house. To your house ish. It's kind of this weird zone of like, you can go out and do all the things, but we don't want you having a Super Bowl party or a WrestleMania party or a WandaVision party. You have
well, see, the thing about me is I wouldn't do that anyway. So I don't know. As long as I can like go to the comic book store and have a student in it at a time, I'm really good with that. And then we can go out for dinner. I know that, right? It says 50 people. 50 people indoors. 50 people indoors. 100 people outdoors. 100 people outdoors. 50 people indoors in an area with weights or exercise equipment. So, yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. You guys can have 50 people in your house?
If we wanted to.
Your province is a disaster. Okay, you know what makes sense though? Because I was on the Blundell show earlier today for a minute, and he was showing some video that while they're asking your fearless premier about what his plan was going to be, his plan was to go out and hand out, and I quote, Timmy cards to everybody so they can try the new egg sandwich at Tim Hortons. That was his plan.
Wow, he must have got paid
for Ontario. So there you go.
Well, see, we're not the same as Toronto, right? Like here in Kingston, we're in a different sector. They're still on lockdown there, as far as I know.
Yeah, I just know Kingston's going to be.
Yeah, I just know it's just Kingston. It's not
right.
Toronto. That's we've been behaving here, and I think most of the university students who weren't behaving got busted and shipped out because right off the bat, that's all you were hearing about and seeing these parties. And you drive downtown and you'd see them all out in the front yards with their red cups or lifting their weights and
lifting their weights.
Oh, dude, that's the new thing, right? Is out they
lift weights out front,
right out front off the main street there, and they're.
I'm gonna get this shit. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, that's what they were doing, man. That's what they were doing.
Well, there's been like I don't know. We're kind of in these various hybrid kind of opening closing things out here, so it's very interesting. But man, I don't know. It's
theaters. Theaters aren't going to be opening at anytime soon, though.
No, but interesting out here.
Sorry, 50 people. 50 people can go at a time.
Out here, interestingly enough, a friend of mine, Corinne Lee, who runs the Rio Theater out here, who Kevin Smith and Ryan Reynolds are huge supporters of, and helped with kind of getting it back from. It was basically, on its way out, and they did a bunch of fundraising for it. And theaters aren't allowed to open, so all of them have kind of changed to sports bars.
Oh, geez.
So she's not allowed to show a movie with people separated in the theater, but she can actually bring 125 people into the place, serve beer, and watch WrestleMania or UFC. So I think this is where people are starting to get a little bit squirrely and nuts. Yeah. Like they're kind of going, so what is it? What are we doing here? Like, are we allowed to go? We can go sit in a sports bar and, converse amongst a whole bunch of people, but we can't sit 2 rows behind someone and watch, a new movie, which is why they're all going to HBO Max now.
All the kids are packed in the school again too, right?
My kids have been in school for a while. They're all year, but I know Ontario shut down. Yeah. My kids have been in school all year, but I know Ontario shut down. But they just they take the kids that test positive for COVID, and you never see them again. But other than that, things are under control.
I like The Simpsons, right? What happened to Uter? Yeah. I don't know. That's awesome.
Move them down the corner there to that other room.
Yeah, I just have one person in at a time here for my in-house students now.
Yeah.
I don't let the parents come in anymore. I just like one at a time. Plus, it keeps the neighborhood here not worrying. If you see like a whole bunch of people coming in out of your house right now, I don't want to freak anybody out, So I just keep it, and I have a 15-minute buffer zone between the students here at the house. Yeah. Online doesn't matter, but still got the kids coming back again. Mm-hmm. So it's good. Got to teach,
which is good.
Yeah, teaching the rock and roll.
You don't have to put some PPE on. You don't have to teach guitar with a face mask and the whole thing.
Well, no, I have to wear the mask. I got to wear the mask when the kids come. That's just polite right now. Send you some PPE so you can be like those guys from ET. Oh yeah, the great big suit. That would be really cool. That'd be good for drawing. They could draw me like that, right? That'd actually
Also,
be really rad.
in Back to the Future, did Marty dressed up like one?
Oh yeah, with the Eddie Van
The alien
Halen
with
tape.
Which is wicked.
Oh yeah, that's funny. I was behind a guy in a huge pickup truck today, and he was kind of ticking me off until in his windows, he had this huge classic Van Halen thing, and it was just he had this great big Van Halen thing in his back window. And until sometimes when you're behind a great big pickup truck, you're kind of like, that's great. That's great. Cause you can't see around them or anything, and it's like we're in the city. What are you doing with a great big truck? That doesn't make sense. But then I saw the Van Halen thing, and I was all good with it. That was my moment.
Van Halen makes everything right. That's why when I do our
That's what I was
posts
gonna
about
say.
what we're doing, I always post some kind of Van Halen song with it, just to make everybody feel better, because everyone feels better. I mean, even a couple weeks ago, Ray, who played with Dave, we call him Dave. He's our friend, Dave Roth.
Yes, of course. DLR, man.
Yeah. And he told a great story, and I can't wait to get Ray back on to tell more stories. So,
and I want his kids to come back on and have another. We need another round of that Spider-Man battle. We got to know what's coming though, so that we can kind of prep it up. That was awesome.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
So today, a few things going on. It's you and I running the table today. We're going to bring our friend Mark Garnis on, who's in the waiting room, kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
Who works with the Kingston Canadian Film Festival. Talking about their program. You've got something coming up there.
I do. I have a comic book workshop program, and this is the cool thing about it. It's through Zoom. Your kids or you yourself can take it. Can take this workshop anywhere around the world, basically. I guess. Well, I don't know where Zoom is. I don't think it'd be in like North Korea or anything, right? But
he's coming in now. He's going to tell us all about it.
So yeah, so you can sign up for that. I think it's like $20 or something like that, and I'll go on for hours. Because I do.
For $99.99, we'll throw in a mug.
There you go.
Because they're only $79.99 now.
Those mugs, they're gonna go
quick. Look at the size of the thing. It's like
Yeah. Jeez,
that's good.
That's a lot of coffee.
You could. I mean, that's a full beer can I fit in there.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
Oh yeah. Okay. It was a smaller one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The normal size, I guess it would be.
Kind of standing by below there on the tech side. We'll see how he's doing there.
What, Mark?
But yeah, he's still waiting to get on. But this is the Kids on the Escalator weekly podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Tuesday night. That is Chris Machete. I am Brent from the Brenton on Tour podcast. Now Journey for Java, the podcast. Kids on the Escalator podcast.
And if you checked out our channel last night, man, like 1,000 people did.
Mm-hmm.
I did my guitar lessons. And man, that was kick. Thanks everybody. I gotta say, man, the love you guys are showing me on there is really, really cool. I appreciate it. Thank you. It was my third one, Lonnie. Third episode. Yeah, over 1,000 viewers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, folks. Appreciate
Put Mark
it.
back in the waiting room until
Sure.
he's grounded. Mark, you're grounded until you figure this out.
He'll get there. Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Do we have enough time to talk about what's wrong with your Vancouver Canucks?
Well, Mark is a hockey fan, right?
I know, so maybe
we can talk. We talk about the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, listen, I'm a Leaf fan first and foremost, so I cheer Leafs against the Canucks all the time. So hey, they routed them, but man, the rest of the time when I'm not getting Leaf coverage out here, it's Canuck coverage, and so I wanted to have some kind of encouraging sign out of that series that maybe I didn't expect them to lose all three. Maybe they would lose 2 with like an OT split or something, but not get routed.
Right.
And it is just plainly obvious that the off-season moves that this team attempted.
What did they do there? Sorry, what
did they do?
Yeah,
like they got rid of everybody. Anyone that they couldn't afford. Hey, Mark.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
We don't see you, but we hear you.
Yeah, we can't see you.
Oh, wait, 1 second here, guys.
Hit that video button.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just on my at-home computer here.
There's cats everywhere, just like here.
We'd just like to point out for the record that
nobody can see.
This is Mark Garnis with the Kingston, Canadian Film Festival,
Independent Film Festival. There you go.
He can't figure out his video.
No,
so
the biggest film festival in Canada.
God damn it, Zoom, Zoom-orama.
You can probably see me now, right?
No, we can't see you. No, we can't see you at all.
We got your name.
Yep. Hello to everybody watching from home on the internets and all the things.
Yeah.
If you've tuned in tonight, thank you very much. It's we appreciate you coming by, hanging out, tuning in weekly.
Yeah, we still
got a regular group.
We're still going to talk about some hockey here, some NHL, because NHL's back for most of the places.
I'll get on.
We're still going to talk about Quentin Tarantino movies. Man,
That's right.
There. Oh my gosh, we can kind of see him.
Oh, I don't know what I did. Hi.
There's
Hey,
Mark.
buddy.
Hey, Mark. It's Mark.
Hi. I'm in transit here.
That's
He
all
wasn't-
right.
I guess he didn't get our HD memo. But anyways, hey buddy, what's
Hey
happening?
guys.
You were
Not
on one.
much.
You were on one of our very first shows.
Yes, I was. That was what was that, like Halloween or
That
I
was
don't
3
know.
years
It's all
ago.
a blur. Yeah.
It's a while ago. Now we have millions of viewers, so the pressure's on.
I was 19.
Yeah, we were all young back then. I wasn't allowed to drink then. Now I am.
What's up, buddy? How you
Hi
doing?
guys. Good.
This is Mark Garnis. Everything. You tell us who you are. Tell us who you are.
Who am I? Okay, well, you guys know me from music. I used to play in a band, I Hate Sally, and that's
Woo.
when I met you guys back in the day through music. But I think I have been invited on the show through my job with the Kingston Canadian Film Festival. I'm the festival director there. So, yes, I am both those things.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, it's excellent to have you here in the Kingston Film Festival. Sorry, let me make sure I don't make that mistake because I twittered out to Kingston, Jamaica today,
Oh yeah, I know, right?
which
Okay.
they haven't updated their Twitter account since 2016. So if you guys
I
are
think
going
you-
there, they might be having a festival, but not in 2 weeks.
I think when you sent me that, I was literally on Twitter sending messages out, like probably my third or fourth one of the day. And you're like, you haven't sent a tweet since 2016. So yeah, I don't know what you found, but
Yeah, I found the King.
Okay.
Well, anyways,
Mm-hmm.
it's out there. So if we ever go to Kingston, Jamaica, they'll know we're coming.
they already have a Twitter account.
What's the proper name for your handle or name for the festival?
It's King Can Film Fest.
There
So
we go.
Diener from Fubar, he remembers it due to the King Can, like the King Can of beer.
Of a beer.
So
Yes.
yeah, so he really liked that. So the King Can Film Fest,
Mhm.
and it's all wherever you go, that's what we are on.
Mark, you know what your mic sounds like right now? Every time
you're
grab it with
twitching?
your hand, it sounds like this.
Oh no. Well, here's the thing. I don't have a mic.
No, yeah, it's right there. It's on the deal. It's on the
Right there.
headphones there.
Right there. That's your mic. It's good. It sounds good.
You got
Good
it.
now?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's right there on your side there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, the little squarey thing, you were touching it, and we were like,
Oh,
this is where we were.
Lonnie's laughing at you over here, Mark. She's the producer of the show, right? She actually is. She's laughing at you here.
If you can't bust
Lonnie-
the
Lonnie
balls, they
says hi,
can't
Mark.
come on the show.
Lonnie says.
I do
Lonnie
have a
says
mic.
hi.
I don't think my mic's as good as Brent's though. I do have a mic in my office, but that mic that you have there, Brent, looks pretty awesome.
Dude,
It's just the blue.
this
blue
one here.
Maniacs.
This
Yeah.
was. Remember me telling you the story of this one, Mark? This
Yeah.
was used in a recording of not this actual mic, but that style was used in a recording for a Megadeth album. Remember I was telling you guys
Oh,
that?
yeah.
But it was a symbol or something for way off in the room. But
I feel like
Good
every
mics. Our friends at Blue Microphones have sent people from the network on the Blundell Network these for being a part of the network and these. So hey, you know, I gotta
Cool.
try to sound good and do the thing because people just won't listen. if
mine's
you
for my
don't.
jam room
That's all right.
right now.
So the film festival begins shortly, and you know we'd like to support local here as much as we can. And you're a friend of ours forever and ever and ever,
Mhm.
like a brother from another mother, and we love what you're doing over there. So tell us all about what's coming up, my friend.
Yeah, so it's coming up pretty soon. So we're like most festivals, we're doing the digital thing this year. For a while, we didn't really have a choice. I think theaters are actually going to start opening up in Kingston again this week. But anyways, that's a little too late. We're committed to the digital festival this year. So yeah, I mean it's interesting. It's kind of like relearning. I think this is my ninth, maybe even ninth festival. So it's kind of like, you know, you get good at running things a certain way. And so we've had to relearn everything this year. And but I think it's going to be pretty good. Like we've already sold tickets to people like living way out your way on the West Coast and
Wow.
and people down in the States as well. So I think we're going to, I mean, as far as just expanding our footprint, I think it's going to be an interesting festival just to see who attends, right? Like we're in March in the Canadian winter. So in a normal year, you know, as much as we do draw some people from out of town, it's fairly limited to people that want to come downtown Kingston. So, you know, all of a sudden now anybody can check out the festival, which is kind of cool. So yeah, but we're doing what we've always done. We have, I think we have close to 30 films that we're showing this year, and they're all new Canadian releases. A lot of stuff that people wouldn't normally see, you know, going out to the Landmark or Cineplex Odeon or any of the big chain theaters. They're a lot, you know, they're rad movies, but a lot of them just seem to be underseen. I think the stat that everybody in the Canadian film world always goes back to is something like 3% of our box office is actually spent on Canadian film. So it's a lot of stuff that, you know, might come to Netflix or Crave, but it might not. A lot of stuff that just never gets shown. So the one nice thing about the festival that people tell us is it's often the only time they get to see these movies.
Yeah, I would imagine. So, there's a stigma amongst a lot of Canadian films for a long time, right?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think I think not even going back that far, like kind of 15, 20 years ago, I just sort of had the stigma as being sort of that Sunday afternoon TV drama, you know, with just like really way too try hard acting and kind of low budget, sort of almost like those Heritage Minutes, except extended out over 2 hours. You know what I mean? You still get the odd one like that, but like on the whole, like the films are really good. Like, I mean, I could name a handful that we have this year that have played festivals over in Europe at, like, you know, Cannes and prestigious film festivals and nominated and winning awards. But yeah, it's just one of those things here. We're so used, I think, to the big Hollywood films. And when you look at the lineups too that are going to Cineplex and Landmark, it does seem to be a lot of the same stuff, right? It's not like they're curating their own programs there. It's like, I'm sure if it's playing the Landmark in out west where you are, Brent, it's probably playing the Landmark in Kingston too, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty universal. It's pretty cookie cutter.
Yeah.
You know, a double, unfortunately, is the same everywhere.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, yeah. So it's fun. It's a good festival to attend in person, but hopefully people get the same thing from it this year, attending from home too. You know, I think everybody feels like they could use a little break from their regular routine of watching Netflix or Crave or whatever they're watching on a regular basis right now. I feel like it's a good time to kind of throw a curveball at people. I'm just watching hockey right now, so I'm ready for some movies.
Yeah. We're gonna chat hockey in a bit, but we got to make sure we talk about the film festival enough here, right? Because we're gonna get on a tangent on something here. I can feel it coming. But let's focus. You know what I mean?
We're just dying to talk about hockey.
Let's focus. So, you mentioned you had some younger filmmakers in there. Maybe the youngest you've ever had.
Right. So we've always had a youth short film program. I think, like, you know, usually when you're a kid, you're not making a feature film. You're maybe making a 5-minute short film for your film and media course, or you know, just a hobby on the side. But we actually have a film this year. It's called How to Fix Radios, and it's by I don't know, Chris, do you know, or Brent, you might know Mississippi Grover from Kingston. Yeah, it's his son actually stars in it.
You're kidding me. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just found out this myself.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so the filmmaker's name's Casper Leonard and Emily Russell. They've both had short films in our youth short film program in the past, but Mississippi Grover's kid, what's his name? Dimitri, I think. He's the star. Wow. He's the star of the film. But anyways, the neat thing about this is it's the first feature film that we've shown by kids before. Like they're 16, 17 years old. So
nice.
Cool. And they shot it all during the pandemic and just in areas around Kingston. And it's cool, you know. They've, as you can imagine, did it on very little budget, but they've put a cool little story together. So
what's the criteria, Mark, for I want to dumb this down for a minute. I love doing the dumb down, but someone that's like a budding filmmaker,
right?
And I know like iPhone and all these companies are really pushing like, hey, you can make movies on your phone now and all the rest of it. What's the minimum criteria to get into a film festival? Like yours, is yours pretty common amongst all of the film festivals, or is it you offer more, you know, like a different take on things, or is everyone's criteria to get into these film festivals the same? Can you do it on a phone, or what are the minimums to make this happen?
I feel like that rule got thrown out the window when, I don't know if this film won an Oscar or not, but it wasn't Tangerine, I think it was called. Do you remember that film from 2015
I'm pretty up on it,
or
but I don't think
16?
so. Yeah.
Yeah, I almost said Florida Project, but it wasn't Florida Project. It was like a year or two before that. I think it was called Tangerine. It was shot entirely on a cell phone, and you wouldn't have known it unless they kind of led with that foot a bit in the marketing.
Sure.
It looked great, and it won awards. I don't think it won an Oscar, but I feel like it was nominated for something. Best cinematography.
Right.
Do you remember when
And,
we were in CDs, like indie CDs, us, and you had to, have the maple, right? You had to have made in Canada, like to
Right.
qualify for SOCAN
right.
or any of these any of these grants or anything that would factor and stuff like that were going on. You had to have certain criteria in order to qualify. It had to be produced, had to be manufactured in Canada. The same thing with film is that, like, that's great that you made this on your cell phone, but you farmed it out to an American post editing software company, so it disqualifies you? Or is it really just the Wild West when it comes to, like, make a film, submit it, and you're in? Or do you have to follow some rules in Canada, especially for that?
Like, so for our festival specifically, we're an all Canadian film festival. That's probably the first thing that I should have said that makes us unique among other festivals. But yeah, so and within the industry, there's different definitions as to what constitutes a Canadian film. Like that film Brooklyn, I don't know if you remember that from 3 years ago.
Mhm.
It was considered a Canadian film by many, and that's just, it had some Canadian money in it. I think the producers were Canadian, but it was shot in the States and in Ireland, and the director was Irish as well. So for us, that wasn't Canadian enough. We basically we keep it pretty simple. It's where the directors and the storytellers and the writers are from. So more the creative team. So if the creative team is Canadian, we'll consider it a Canadian film, more so than where the money's coming from. So, if you like this film Tangerine, shot it on your cell phone and a big American company swooped in to help you finance it, we would still consider it a Canadian film if the creative team behind it was Canadian. So that's kind of our criteria. As far as anything technical, though, like, I would say it would be very unusual for us to take a film. I can't even think of if we've taken one that was shot on a cell phone. Probably some of the short films that we have, maybe like in our, we have a category just for local filmmakers. So I think we've certainly taken a few that would have been shot on cell phones in that category. But as far as our features go, I don't think we've accepted anything like that. But I mean, we would if it was the right film. Mm-hmm. In Canadian film, I think the budget's a little bit lower than it might be for a lot of the films that you'd see coming out of the States. But, we still have, like, just because they're Canadian films, we still have like Hollywood names in some of the titles that we're showing. So there's still money in some of these bigger films. Sigourney Weaver's in one film that we're showing this year called My Salinger Year. And then Death of a Ladies' Man is another one that we're showing that has Gabrielle Byrne in it. So Jessica Perret, Brian Gleason. So there's some money in some of these films too. Sure. And some of them are winning Oscars. Sometimes it's somebody making their first film. So I'd say we're the only thing that really sets us apart from most other film festivals would be the fact that we're just taking Canadian films. But
nice.
Yeah. I'm disappointed that you didn't say Sigourney Weaver was starring in Alien 12.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Or Ghostbusters 3.
Canadian version.
Yeah.
On that side of it. Awesome, man. You've been doing this for a while, eh?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if this was 9 or 10. Last year kind of didn't count. I don't know if I brought this up last time when when I was on the podcast, but we got like a day of the festival in last year. So I don't know what day the pandemic officially hit out west, Brent, but it officially hit
the 14th, the day I landed and got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you remember? I remember it was day 2 of our film festival. So it was March 12th when it hit Kingston, and it was just one guest after another. It was kind of like seeing airline flights just get canceled. All the guests were just like, no, we're not showing up. Bedouin Soundclash got here, and their tour manager said he had one hand on the trailer ready to open it when he got a call from the band's management and said, no, turn around, you're coming back to Toronto. Wow. So I think that was sort of the nail in the coffin for us. All the all the directors had canceled by about that time, but when Bedouin, they were coming to play at the music video thing that we were doing, and we were paying them their fee to come do that, and we'd sold a ton of tickets. And I think when they canceled, we're just like, this can't go on any longer.
No.
So that was day 2 on the Thursday, and I think if we had, I think we maybe could have got the Friday in, but Saturday, Kingston was kind of, I think some new rules had come in by Saturday, like crowds of a certain size could only gather. And then by Monday, things were pretty locked down. So if we had have scrapped our way through the weekend, probably would have got fired, So
Yeah, and people are pretty freaked out off the beginning too, right? Nobody knows what to
For
expect
sure.
here. So
Yeah. So anyways, I don't know if last year counted as that was a really long way of answering your question, Brent. I think I've got 9 festivals in, because last year I don't think counted.
cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow.
It's gonna be a unique one though, but people can find it online.
Yeah.
And so when they buy it, kind of walk us through like to be part of the festival.
Yep.
How do people go about doing that?
Yeah, so you can go to our website. It's just kingcanfilmfest.com, and you have the option of purchasing tickets or a pass. So there's really no, in a regular year, if you were to buy a pass, you get things like, free beer and parties and some of that side of the festival. This year, you just get a discount. But yeah, you can buy tickets or a pass, and the way it works is every film does have a premiere during the festival. So we encourage you to watch the premiere, because that means you can take part in the Q&A with the filmmaker at the end.
Nice.
So that's the part of the festival that will be in real time. The filmmakers zooming in for Q&As, and the platform we're using, you can type your questions in, and we'll have a moderator to convey those questions to the filmmaker. So that'll all still be done in real time. Somebody in a regular year that would maybe be nervous to put their hand up in the theater to ask a question, you can get on there and ask your favorite director, whatever you want. So that's a cool part of the festival this year. And then if you don't care about catching that live, after the premiere, it'll stay on our streaming site for the remainder of the festival, and you can just watch it on demand with the pre-recorded Q&A.
That's
yeah.
cool.
So it's
How much are tickets, Mark? How much are tickets?
Wow, it should be the first thing I know. They're
Mr.
$12 plus fees, so like $14 ish. And then if you
For the festival or per film?
per film, yeah.
Per film.
And the more you buy, so if we have the 6, 9, and a 12 pass. Those are kind of like the beer increments. No, not the 9. But yeah, they're a little bit cheaper per film if you get a pass. And
Nice.
and we're not discouraging people now that we're kind of moving out of lockdown. If you're in the same social bubble with people, you can watch that film together. We're not suggesting that it needs to be $12 for each person. It's $12 per household. So.
Right.
Sure.
Oh, that's good. That's cool. Yeah.
So
You can have
you know-
some marketing with that too. You can have some marketing fun with that too. Now it's kind of like, there's watch parties, like the thousands of people watching tonight. They can have watch parties for the thing, or like what Chris does on Friday nights over at Twitch, where you can tune in and watch a flick, which I think is pretty cool. So there's lots of ways to kind of add some fun to it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Steam Whistle's like our beer sponsor, and they're doing like home delivery, and so there's a few of our restaurants that are doing up some menu items special for the festival too. So people like that side of the festival, they can have those things delivered to their front door. So yeah, I think it's going to be fun. It's a little bit different for us from the organizational side. So it's if it's a success, we might keep it going next year in some capacity with the in-person thing, So it's maybe not just a 1-year thing. We'll have to see. Yeah, but Chris has a workshop that he's doing during the festival as well. I don't know.
Comic book workshop, man. Anybody can sign. We were mentioning that, except maybe like North Korea or something, right, where you don't get the internet. But yeah, and you guys could all sign up for it, and I will teach limited spaces though, so make sure you get in there. But you just go to the website that you have, right, Mark? What is the website?
Yep. Yeah, it's kingcanfilmfest.com, and we have all the workshops just on a page underneath all our films. Actually, there's a dedicated workshops page too, but it's on there. It's got some information about Chris's bio and all that important stuff.
Yeah. So I'm going to teach you some comic book art. We're going to go through a whole cover and as much as I can do in the time spot. And I'll put some links up after, of course, for the film festival, and I'll put one directly on my Chris Machete one to get to the workshop, so that if anybody does want to take the workshop, I'll just give it, so you click the button and you go right there. We'll put up some links for you, friends. Okay, so sign up, do some comic book art with me, and make sure you check out the other movies at the film festival. There's lots of cool stuff. I remember not last year, the year before, we went down, and I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was a suspense movie. It's kind of a scary one, not blood and guts, but more kind of like a Stephen King kind of suspense, and it was really, really good. And the theater that we saw it in really added some ambiance to it too. What's that theater that I went to? I'm still new here.
Oh, it's the screening room, but they actually have the shining carpet in their one theater. I don't know if it was that. They have 3 theaters, but they've decked out their one theater with the shining carpet, which is kind of cool.
So throwback, the whole thing about it, right? Like the smaller theater. And I had a really good time. The vibe there is really, really cool. Everybody's very friendly. So I could imagine like all the stuff you get to choose from online would be really, really like not lots of little niches that people can get for their movies, right, Mark? Like lots of little itches to scratch. What are the different kinds of movies that you have in there for people?
I mean, we have everything. I'd say we're a little light on like horror films this year. We do have, I think we only have one. Admittedly, they're not the most popular ones at the festival. We usually show them in the smaller theaters, and they'll sell out the small rooms. But and just while I'm on the topic of that, you guys probably remember that band, A Dying Race. Back in the day.
Geez,
yeah. Okay, their singer Terry now, he's writing music for film, so he actually helped make the soundtrack for the horror film that we're showing this year. It's called Bloodthirst.
Well, good for him.
Just a little.
Didn't the drummer for that band? Didn't he play drums for Slaves for a while?
He did, yes.
Wow, we're all connected. That's so cool. That's right too. I remember that now. Wow.
But we have some we always have really good documentaries at the festival. We're showing the world premiere of Mouth Congress, which is by Scott Thompson from Kids in the Hall.
Yay!
Yeah, and it's about his punk band before he was in Kids in the Hall.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, so that'll I'm excited for that one. It's getting its world premiere, so that should be pretty popular. And then just I don't know, like dramas and everything. We even got some family friendly stuff too. So if you like want to watch with the kids, there's a few in there that are definitely
Are any of the actors making appearances on the Zoom? Like Sigourney doing a Zoom chat with people that pay up, or as part of the ticket, or Gleason or anybody like that?
We actually got the directors from all the films. So usually our strategy, I mean, obviously if Sigourney Weaver wanted to attend, we'd say yes. But usually when we're going through the films, we tend to ask the directors first. And then if the directors can't do it, then we're like, okay, should we get cast, or should we get like a producer or a cinematographer or somebody else? But it's been no great surprise. It's been so easy getting guests this year, knowing that they don't have to get in a train or drive over here or in a plane and hotels and all that stuff. So I think within a day of asking most of them, they had gotten back to us saying, yeah, I'm in. So I think every film we have literally has a Q&A with the director. So I don't think there's any cast. I mean, Scott Thompson is in that film, and he's also the director. So we have Scott on that Q&A, which will be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then so I think that's going to be I think a big part of the festival is tuning into those live Q&As and definitely and seeing that side of it, just feeling like you're a part of something. Like I think watching it on demand is great too, but just sometimes even like when we're watching another hockey reference here, when we're watching hockey games together and like texting each other and keeping in touch, it's just that live feel to it is a little more special than if you're watching the rerun of the game and I've already seen it.
Right.
One last thing on it, Mark. The ticket that you buy for the film, does that get you access into the Zoom with the director, or you need to pay? You need to pay up to move into the Zoom.
No, it's all included in the ticket price. And when you're in the platform and you hit play, it's the one click, and then we got our trailers and commercials that play at the start, just like as if it would when you're at the actual festival in person. The movie starts, and then at the end of it, the Q&A actually comes on your screen too, so you don't need to click buttons or move around or anything. It's all, they
don't need to download a program to run this or anything. You can just go.
No. Yeah, it's a platform called Eventive, and they've I think ever since the pandemic, they've really gone hard at getting this site right. So fortunately for us, like 1,000 other film festivals have used it before us all around the world. So I think they've kind of ironed out any kinks they would have ever had, and it seems to be pretty smooth. Yeah, so we're
That's
pretty
great.
happy with it. Yeah.
Great. Sounds really good. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'll send you guys passes.
Dates. Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm stoked to do the workshop on there too, man. I always love doing.
Yeah, man.
Being a part of it, and doing that kind of thing. Yeah. So, is there anything else you need to add about the workshop, or sorry, I mean the film festival, my friend?
No, tickets are on sale now, and so you can just go to our website and
we'll put the link up.
And
yep.
buy now. Yeah. And
we're gonna promote it over the next couple of weeks, and then on the 23rd of February on our live broadcast, we're gonna give away a pass.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah, are you kidding? That's great. God, thanks for supplying with something to give away. So we're not sure what question we're gonna ask or what we're gonna do to give that away.
Well, you're gonna. I mean, there's gonna be some tweeting, retweeting, tagging. There's gonna be a bunch of shit.
You be in control of that one.
You're gonna have to
do that one.
Trivia and tagging, maybe. Yeah.
There's going to be a whole bunch of things. I think a really good way to really garner some interest in this is to make everybody go back and listen to the last 16 episodes of Kids on the Escalator podcast.
Wow, yeah.
And then it's going to be like trivia time. In what episode did we ask this question?
Yikes.
Drive them up.
Make sure we can get a winner, right?
That's right. Wicked, Mark. We'll post all the stuff and we'll get to everybody over to there.
Awesome thing.
So let's remember to buy tickets to Chris's workshop.
Yep, we'll put links up for everything. I'm gonna pump it and pimp it, and we'll jam
how much
all
is
that
it, Chris?
stuff
20?
online.
$20?
$20, Mark?
Yeah, I think we have it as 20, and like we sold out like 2 of them last time, didn't we, Chris? Or we just did one, but we combined like 2 classes into one.
Yeah, the one I did on the Nexus Comics was so big, it was awesome.
Yeah, the demand exceeded the supply.
It was great. I love that.
Really good.
I do. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And for this simple upcharge of $50, you'll also get this really great mug.
That mug keeps coming into play.
Yeah, that's a good one. But Mark,
hockey.
It's time for us to move on to hockey. And we got Tarantino to cover. We got a few things to cover. But Chris and I were starting to discuss.
Well, yeah, before I was asking Brent what was wrong with his Vancouver Canucks, because I've seen too much of them in the last 3 games with the Leafs, and the Leafs have they didn't even deserve the win the Leafs did last game, but they still.
Yeah, they couldn't help but win. Yeah, they tried not to.
It seemed like it was like we got to give Vancouver a chance here.
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't Vancouver go further than all the other Canadian teams last year? I think they did.
So Chris was asking me about what the problem with the Canucks. So and the issue was basically they were the best, and actually I still think they had a really good shot of last year of making the final of the Stanley Cup final. They were really great. Defense, break down. All their guys are underperforming. I mean, Hughes is still performing. Besser stepped up. Horvat stepped up, but they couldn't afford to keep Markstrom. They couldn't afford to keep Tanev. All these kind of little pieces that were crucial for them. And then, the other side of it too is like, let's look at the division. It's the all-Canadian division. Mm-hmm. They're not getting a chance to everyone's up against it. So every team is part of a division that they're only going to be playing. So, I mean, Vancouver's going to have to adjust to this division. Toronto and Montreal clearly the cream of the crop. And I don't think there's any stopping either one of them. And you would normally be able to gauge versus, okay, we're doing a West Coast run and we're playing the Ducks and we're playing Phoenix and we crawl back 10 points or we do something. Or even Edmonton, they beat Edmonton and, every game a couple years ago would pull in those 10 points. Now, all these games are like 4-point games, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're losing basically 4 points, and you can only measure up against Canada. You can't measure up against any of the other teams and make adjustments throughout the year and go, all right, well, this is what's happening, or okay, we're weak on the left side. We're going to do that. They're weak on every side, and they have to fix it right now. And it's amazing to watch because people want to blame Travis Green, but it's like, no, this is a management issue for me. They didn't manage the cap properly, and no, for sure. I'm learning a lot of this right now because Vancouver is one of those teams that we just don't really see regularly, and I'm so Leaf centric. Like
I will glance to see what's happening in the West, but that's usually of no concern to me until later in the year when the Leafs are hopefully in a playoff spot. And so yeah, the Canucks have always been this. I was never a Sedin fan. The Sedins, and I think like I don't know if that's a popular opinion or not. I don't know how popular they were within their own fan base, but I never totally got into the Canucks, so that's maybe part of the reason why I didn't really follow them. But anyways, all to say, on paper it looks like they should have a good team, but like you said, if you have a leaky defense, that's going to kill you.
And the other side too is that I'm speaking to this Canucks Leaf argument. Obviously, I'm Toronto born and raised and a Leaf fan at heart. But when I moved to Vancouver, you barely could get Leaf games. Only on Saturday night. They didn't have the coverage that you had now. Even, and I'm not sounding old, but I've been out here 16 years, and they really only in the last 5 years have you really been able to get regular programming from around the league, unless you subscribe to the NHL Network. So when I came out here, the Canucks completely changed the team, right? Everyone left. Everyone I hated was gone. Brand new team, brand new everything. And we saw the rise of all these great players, and for them to go to the Stanley Cup final, it was great to have two teams to really cheer for, being part of a place. And then, Leafs were struggling. Canucks were doing great. Always Leafs versus Canucks, always cheer for Leafs versus Canucks, but then being able to enjoy that other side of it. But this year, watching them getting annihilated by the Leafs, I'm like, okay, friend, I'm happy that the Leafs are racking up points, but my God, look at how awful this Canucks team is. And I'm like, there's nothing encouraging about watching them getting their ass handed to them three games in a row.
They could probably still beat Ottawa, but I don't know, man. Ottawa's won two games so far. That's
Ottawa and Calgary. I think that's it. Maybe.
I feel like Vancouver maybe plays Ottawa next. Now,
okay,
now
they need
here.
that.
So we'll see if they can. Yeah, I think they can turn it around. Like, I think the season's shorter this year, so they've dug themselves a hole, to say the least. But I think they can, if they kind of catch a 10-0 or a 9-1, they can get back into it. It's I
am encouraged by how amazing Matthews is this year.
Man, he's crazy.
Morgan Riley. I took Morgan Riley in my pool, and he's not disappointing.
Yeah, they made some good. Leafs made some good additions. I love the addition of Wayne Simmons. They needed somebody like him all along. Now he's hurt; he's out for 20 games, but they needed somebody like that. And now Spets is getting more time, and after they put him on waivers, he's now moved up the list there. And just reliable players, like solid, reliable players, which is good. And is Big Joe back tomorrow night against Montreal? Or
no? I think he's probably a week away still, but. Yeah, that was so I'm totally with you on that. Like, with Simmons, I think is the exact player that they needed. Somebody who can stand up for his line mates. He can play on the second line, and so it's not like he needs to be demoted to the fourth line and to come out to, once in a while to protect his team. He can be out there on a regular shift with the good players and chip in and get some goals. And so when he went down with injury, like, in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, that sucks. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, that really sucks, actually, because he was an energy player that I felt like he was that one chip that they needed. And so they've had one game without him, and they were horrible.
Yeah, they're flat.
So Vancouver should have won that last game.
Oh, I know.
We're not getting any goaltending. I mean, Demko was really good. I took Holtby actually in my pool, thinking, you know what? I thought he would be good but I mean, they're just so weak, and I was like, I'm already eighth from the bottom of my pool, and it's over.
Holtby's getting pissed.
By the way, we call this segment "Nerds on Sports."
Yes, nerds on skates, because that's all we talk about is hockey. We don't really talk about any other sport.
Listen, yeah,
nerds on skates, man.
Yeah, we can still go there.
But the Leafs do look really good, I thought. And what's the defense dude they got from Calgary there? I'm just blanking on his name.
Brody.
TJ
Brody looks good. Yeah, he was another one of those guys I didn't know a whole lot about because he's Calgary Flames. Yeah. But he looks good. I was very against him for the first 4 or 5 games, and it really wasn't his. He had one bad game there at the start, and people kind of got on him a little.
Yes, first game
got on him a little bit, but I kind of wanted, and I had this in my mind, that we were going to get Colton Parayko from
the St. Louis Blues.
6'7", 240 pounds, like good shutdown guy who actually is the anti Morgan Riley. Like he actually plays defense and he hits and he's plays positionally. That like exactly what the Leafs need, right? And I don't know if he was ever actually available. I think in my like dream fantasy league, he would have been traded to my team. But so I think I didn't like TJ Brody because he wasn't Colton Parayko. He was the exact opposite. Somebody told me the stat, he had the least hits per 60 minutes out of any defenseman that was playing like 20 minutes a night. So as soon as I read that, I was like, no, this guy's gonna like have to do a lot to win me over.
Yeah, for sure.
And so he has. I would say now I'm like I've warmed up to the idea of him being a Leaf, and I'm no longer I'm still cheering for him, and he's still not Colton Parayko, but I think he's fitting in well. Yeah. And the one I'm actually more excited about on defense is Bogosian.
Yes, me too. Tough guy, man. I like him all along as well.
So he's a number 6 D-man, like through and through. Like I don't think he ever even has business being on your second defensive line, but he's like kind of Roman Polak.
Yeah,
who I used to always
right?
like, he was always in position. He's probably not going to score a goal this year unless it bounces in off a couple skates, but he's that's not why they've got him. Yeah, and he's big and he looks intimidating, It's
tough dude,
I wouldn't want to skate.
Mark, to your points, I'm an 8th line left winger. So you know. So we have the same traits. If it goes off my head, if it goes off my ass, there you go.
Awesome.
Canceled. Moving along, gents, let's go into anyways, that's Nerds on Sports. Yeah, we watch sports.
Nerds on
I
Ice.
watched the Super Bowl. I did the whole thing. Whatever.
I didn't watch Super Bowl.
Stop picking on us. So anyways, moving on, keeping with the movie theme for a minute. We were chatting about the Kingston Canadian Film Festival. We have been on a bit of a Tarantino kick lately here, Mark. Chris especially. And we had Jeff from Moist on last week, who just released a song called Tarantino. With a really wicked video, which
Bridging
you guys
it, keeping it together.
Tune into and go check out the video. They did a great job.
Oh, cool.
With it. But Tarantino flicks. So Chris, go ahead.
Oh, well, mine is Reservoir Dogs. I just can't get enough of that movie. And as you all know, I draw and watch TV basically most of the day if I'm not, doing a few lessons here and there and such, or on here talking to you fine folks. But Reservoir Dogs is just the essence to me of a great dialogue movie where you're not spending a lot of money. They have the great stars in there. Everybody in that movie is amazing. And you don't need a lot of people in the movie either, right? You just need the right people in there. Like Steve Buscemi, Tim Roth. Sensational. Like just love that movie so much. I can't think of anything I dislike about that movie. The dialogue is so good. I've been studying dialogue lately, and I've been pulling a lot of pieces out for a scene that I have where these soldiers are kind of rapping at each other, getting ready to go into battle, right, to face off against some demons here in Kingston. And they steal a little. I steal a little bit from the Reservoir Dogs thing. I love taking the Easter eggs, but there's so many little just one-liners from that movie that if somebody says that, I can name the movie immediately. I'm trying to think, and the other one's like, because I've been watching them all lately, right? What's the other one? The Hateful Eight. Have you ever seen that one, Mark?
Yeah,
I have. Yeah, what's that? His second most recent film?
I think so.
I think it is. Yeah, it's it reminds me a little bit of what's his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It doesn't remind me of that plot wise,
right.
But both movies have that one big scene that kind of just builds up to, and you're just like. Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah. And like it's
I expected it more in Hateful Eight than I did in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I got to be honest.
Yeah, that was a bit more of a curveball, I think, right at the end of that film for sure. Although I think everybody knew something was going to happen very violent at the end of the movie just by nature of it, riffing on the Manson timeline.
The acid cigarette, the acid dip cigarette, right? And you knew that was the night that all the hell was going to break loose. That was so cool. But Mark, we discussed that movie, Mark. Remember, and I made the mistake of watching it tired, and then I was probably like 5 minutes away from like the money shot of the whole movie, and I stopped watching it.
I feel like we chatted about that at band practice.
We did.
Over the cars. I'm like, I liked it. Did you? Yeah, we're kind of.
You and Brad were like, oh, you stopped at the total wrong time, right? So I went back and watched the whole movie again, and really took it in proper, and I really, really effing it. I just enjoyed it, man. It was great. It was really good. But it's funny how we discussed that. Right? It's like, oh, you stopped at the total wrong time. You just give it like.
I think your thing at the time was just like, what was it like what was it about, kind of, and I think that's like, it is one of those movies that kind of just meanders along with no like real hard plot line. It's all these like kind of intersecting stories and just like really, really interesting characters that you don't.
Yeah.
That's kind of why you don't care that the plot's not maybe the strongest, because you're just like so into these characters.
I love that. Yeah, characters with levels and layers, man. I'm so all about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that final scene is just the big payoff scene. We're like, oh, okay, this is so. Yeah, you turned it off at the exact wrong moment. But
I know. Right?
Up to that point though, I think it was like, for me, it was still enjoyable. But then I think it's nice having that payoff at the end.
Yeah, there's times too when you go to watch a movie, you're just not in the right zone for it, kind of thing.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I should have watched like a slasher flick that night or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I wasn't. But when I watched it again, I enjoyed it. So the cool thing that I liked about the end of it, spoiler alert, is they took something that ended so horribly and turned it into being they all survived, and plus Buddy got his career resurgent in there, Leo DiCaprio, and his other buddy Brad Pitt, who was going to have to stop working for him and didn't know what he was going to do. He's going to get hired again too, right? So it was it was the Hollywood ending. It was great, man. We all had a positive ending on it. So after you catch it, it's one of those things too where you have to watch it all together. I thought like just jumping back in where I dropped off wouldn't have worked at all. And again, Tarantino's dialogue. Like, are you a big dialogue guy, Mark, or do you like more of like I can go for either, but I have to have some good dialogue in there.
Yeah, like I mean, he's I don't know how long the scripts would be on those movies, but yeah, there's not too many. Yeah, there's not too many scenes that let the scenery speak. It's like the people are speaking on behalf of the scene. Yeah, it's very dialogue.
Anything I've read about it, it's been pretty like, you can't move off of it. You can't move off of it, and I don't imagine he might give DiCaprio a moment, right? Or a couple of the.
If he smashes his hand on a glass and bleeds all over the place, right? You guys know about that in Django?
On the skull.
I thought it was on a glass. I thought it was a glass.
It was like, and then he's covering it in. Oh man, crazy.
He just kept going. Yeah, and there was another scene in a funny thing in The Hateful Eight, and Jennifer, what's her name's playing the guitar?
Russell.
Is that her name?
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
That Jennifer Jason Leigh is Fast Times playing this guitar, right? And it was a replica, like this, like $10,000 replica. And Buddy grabs it and smashes it. And if you watch that again, watch her reaction. She's like, "Whoa, no, oh no!" And she's looking to the side immediately at the producer. "Whoa, wait!" And she totally breaks character there. And you can see her look off to the side, but they kept it in there. Which again, the reason that was mentioned in the video I watched was because Tarantino is so. You know what I mean? It's like for them to leave that in there was a pretty big thing. So Mark, what is your favorite Tarantino movie? Sorry, I was just curious.
I don't know. Like I haven't done a deep dive recent. I think like if you were to like put me on the spot to answer, I'd say Inglourious Bastards is the one that I've like seen the most and gone back to the most. And it's like every scene just hits you. But I was just thinking about it tonight.
Let me give you the list. Let me give you the list.
Oh, you got a top 5?
Reservoir. Okay, so the ones that
movies that he's done.
Director and writer. Now he's been producer, but let's just go director and writer that we would know. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill 1 and 2, Grindhouse, Inglourious Bastards, Django, Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time. And then he was like either a writer or a producer or contributed to Natural Born Killers, 4 Rooms, True Romance, Sin City, Planet Terror. So a few of them. So there you go. There's your options.
He had a great one in 4 Rooms. So I just watched that the other day as well. Yeah. Again, Tim Roth. How awesome is Tim Roth? Oh, man. The dude is awesome.
So go ahead, Mark. There's your list. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd maybe say Inglourious. I feel like I need to go back, and I've only seen a few of them once. Hateful Eight I've only seen one time, and I just remembered Ennio Morricone is wrote the soundtrack for that, which is cool. I don't know if he scored the soundtracks to other films, if he did Django Unchained or not. I don't think he did, but it's the sound. I remember now that the soundtrack to Hateful Eight was awesome, and that's one I'd want to go back and revisit. But what else off that list? I feel like I need to also go back and rewatch the Kill Bills. I've seen them both once, and I know they were like kind of the exact opposite of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like they they just like bludgeon you with like scene after scene, and it's not a slow build at all.
The dojo scene. The dojo
yeah.
scene with I just had her name in my head and then I lost it.
Lucy Liu.
Lucy Liu. Holy cow. And I love Japanese samurais and stuff too, right? So that scene was just
yeah.
wow.
I feel like Pulp Fiction was probably the one from like when we were young that sort of
seen it so many times and it's great. Just an
yeah, and like Reservoir Dogs, I don't know if I'm sure it's like some film nerds in high school, or I don't know where I would have been in my academic career at that time, but I know like that would have been underseen, I think, whereas Pulp Fiction seemed to be pretty mainstream when it came out. I remember seeing the movie posters in like people's lockers and stuff like that. And then maybe they went back to Reservoir Dogs after. Although Reservoir Dogs, I think did it win like an Oscar or something?
I think
like
it got a Sundance something, because it was the very first film he put out. Harvey Keitel financed it for him.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he went out swinging. Like I think right away, like he I don't think he had a very long kind of amateur filmmaking career. Maybe
you're right.
Maybe he did, but I feel like after Reservoir Dogs, he was in. You know, and then Pulp Fiction was kind of like the one I remember from being young when I was a lot younger. But
I always get excited about when word comes out that he's doing something. I know I heard he was doing a restricted Star Trek. He was going to write the next Star Trek movie that was going to be rated R with that cast, which I thought would be very interesting, violent Star Trek. It would be a very interesting take on it. But I mean, to your point, Chris, like when I'm looking back on these flicks, Reservoir Dogs is interesting because I've heard rumblings from filmmakers that like, it's like when you make your first record, you have all the time in the world, right?
Yeah.
So then you make it thinking you're never going to make another one. So as amazing as Reservoir Dogs is, as you see the evolution to me of Tarantino, and as he lets his dialogue breathe more, even though he crams as much in as he possibly can, he just got to be such an amazing writer, which is why he keeps winning screenwriter stuff and going on, which is why I lean a little bit more towards the later works, just because I love how his dialogue breathed a little bit more. I love Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. It's like musicians too. Like people always say, "What's your favorite Nirvana album?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I always go to Bleach." So I love Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. Like that is no hesitation at all. Metallica, like it's right in the beginning there, right? So you don't make as many albums as you do films. And I think that I love the punk rock aspect of Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs, yeah.
I love and there's other stuff I like the punk rock aspect of too. There's just so many. I like it when things are stripped down a bit, like a band. I love it when a band progresses, and that's fine. But I love their early albums. Well, I can hear the guitar, I can hear the other guitar, the bass, the drums, and the ball. That's great. And then they progress, and it's like, wow, there's like 12 layers of guitars in there and a synthesizer. I just love punk rock stripped down. You can hear this, you can hear that. So it's like Reservoir Dogs. Here it is. You got your dudes here, you know what I mean? You're kind of like, what the hell? And then they show the layers of each character. And man, you get me with those layers. See, Mark, I was having arguments with people about the latest Star Wars movies because I don't like them, because I feel the characters had no layers to them. So that I'm always like arguing layers on characters. Now, Reservoir Dogs is a perfect example of you showing layers to these characters in what, like 15-minute intervals, 10-minute intervals? Because they go back, right? They show people and then they go back and they'll show how they met or how Buddy got out of jail. And man, they really made you either care or want to kick the crap out of those characters. And I love that. That's the reason why I like Reservoir Dogs is just because of that. The punk rock attitude, the way that just like, here's your characters, here they are. And again, his choice for songs, bam, that's so good. Like that Brown Bag song off of being doom. At first he was going to use Money by Pink Floyd, and then he just happened to be at a bar somewhere and he heard that more funkier song, right? Put that in, and then just taking Steeler's Wheel, which is a song that was not popular at all when they did the ear cutting scene, right? That stuck in the middle again. Like it was, you didn't hear it like on the radio stations like you did after that movie. So I thought that was really groundbreaking as well. And for me, I thought it would have been really tough for him to go back and top that. But Pulp Fiction did, in a way. You know what I mean? Like it was more streamlined. It was more what the people wanted. He got some really big stars in there. He resurgenced John Travolta's career, and the way that John Travolta's character was related to the guy in Reservoir Dogs. I love that. Like, have stories drip through your other stories, man. It's I love that. I think that's fantastic. That's one of my.
Did you hear they just tried to tie in? They just tried to tie in the drug dealer from.
Yes.
They just tried to tie in the drug dealer from Fast Times at Ridgemont High to the Pulp Fiction drug dealer.
Yep.
It's the same time
Eric
frame.
Stoltz. Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
The guy who puts the needle into what's her name there, right?
Yeah.
Or helps.
Uma Thurman. Don't you? I feel like that's coming with Tarantino, where he's going to basically drop his last film on everybody, and then he's going to release a thing that says, "And by the way, here you go," and everything is going to be tied into every movie in the history of film.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so cool. Like I say, Mark and I have discussed this before. Is like Kubrick and Tarantino are my two favorites. I just amazing, brilliant.
They're just and he's like such a film nerd too. Like I think Hateful Eight. I remember he did a tour with that film with not 35 mil, but like 70 mil, and so it's going to all these like art houses playing that film on like 70 mil tape, which is insane and like
How cool is that?
very cost prohibitive, but yeah, just like things like that, and then getting Ennio Morricone to do the soundtrack, and yeah, I think he's just he's a film geek that just is so passionate about it, and it's always awesome seeing artists like that, it
resonates, right? I saw a great video where and he does this all the time. His people, his stars in his show, his movies know that, okay, he'll take the cut and be like, okay, we got it, but we're going to do it again. Why are we going to do it again? And everybody says, because we love making films. And they'll shoot it again because that's their mantra. We love making, we got it, but you know what? Let's give it one more shot because we love making, it's just real. So that's got to be, and you notice too, he has a stable of actors that he likes to use too, right?
Just gonna say,
I love that. That is awesome too. Kevin Smith's the same way. Like you get these, I find these really creative guys. It's not like, okay, you're working with this person, or sorry, like the mainstream big directors and right. Okay, you're working with this guy. We got this guy. These more creative ones are like, this is the guy playing the part. If he's not available, I don't know what we're gonna do here. You know what I mean? Are you guys privy with Jackie Brown? Because that's one of the lesser known movies, right?
Yeah, I mean, I dig it a lot. I thought it was a subtle entry for him. Like it was like a tribute to that time, and it was a nice little break, I think, for him.
And Rob De Niro being in there is like right out of left field, right?
Yeah,
Rob De Niro is just like right out of left.
Cast.
Have you seen that one, Mark?
I have, but that's one I need to revisit.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. But in that one too, the soundtrack and the mood of everything is so 70s. It's like, oh, this is great. Right? Like, It's
I like how he keeps touching on I don't know, he keeps pushing it, and it's very his writing, as you said, Chris, the writing side of it. It's funny because you were talking about character development. I got asked, and I'm not going to tie the two of them in together per se, but I did get asked today about why the WandaVision episodes were so short, like 22, 23 or 30 minutes, and I can only liken it to a quick hit comic book where you're going to get this and then you got to pay into the next thing. But in those, especially in the middle section here, they're really taking you back into character development, as you touched on in the previous episodes. But Tarantino just has one long, 2.5, 3 hour movie where you get character development on every single person. Kill Bill was the best example of that because it just goes and goes. You still are trying to go back and find character development in Pulp Fiction. Yeah. Right. But Kill Bill, it's like, here's every single thing and every single story that you could possibly imagine that will tie this in, and we're just going to weed it, intertwine it, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is good. It's really good stuff.
Yes, I think some of the writing lends itself well to if he wanted to. Like, was he a comic book guy, Chris? I think he was, wasn't he?
Who's that?
Tarantino.
Oh yeah. Because if you look in his first movie, Reservoir Dogs, there's a Silver Surfer poster.
Right. Yeah.
And he's just like the Thing from the Fantastic Four. Yeah, he loves.
Yeah. So I mean, you could see it either in that medium or like even like you could almost see a few of his films even being like a theater. Like just a theater set where it's there's only a few different, like Hateful Eight, like that scene when they're in the, what do they call it, not the tavern, but when they all meet up there, like that could easily be a piece of theater.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's such a good movie. I did not see what was coming in that movie, like at all. You know, sometimes you can kind of see what's going to happen or whatever, or they let you know. But wow, I was in the dark on that one, and that was really cool. I liked it a lot. That was one that I haven't seen properly until maybe like over the pandemic here. Like I've seen it here and there, but I sat down and watched it like twice in a row. You know, and then I really, really, really got into it. Man,
before we get off this, then let's
Samuel
just do
Jackson.
a quick. Before we get off this, then let's do and then we let Mark get out of here. But
geez, it's 10:15. Jeez, I haven't seen Mark in so long too, right? We used to see each other all the time.
He's got a festival to run.
I know.
But okay, so let's. What's our favorite Tarantino movie scene? Go.
Who,
Chris?
me?
What's your favorite Tarantino scene?
Okay, I love. I can't. You got to come back to me.
Mark, I'll start. You guys think about it. I'm going to go with the scene with Don Johnson and Django when they're rolling up and they've got who's the dude from who's the the kid that was part of the my brain. He's in listen to me. I'm trying to. What's the kid that got nominated for the Oscar for Moneyball?
Jonas Hill.
Jonah Hill. So anyways, Jonah Hill, Don Johnson. Holy moly. I'm sorry, Jonah. Anyways, little Seth Rogen. So they have this great scene where they're rolling up to, go get Django. I'm not going to use any of the words, but they're talking about, one of my favorite scenes of movies in the history of film when they're sitting around on their horses and they can't see out of their hoods.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Who designed these hoods? And
my wife took a lot of time to cut them off for you. Next time you cut your own hoods.
Yeah, fuck all y'all.
Should I keep it on or should I take it off?
My wife slaved around. Listen, that to me.
That was really funny.
That to me is the single favorite scene he's ever written. It is absolutely 100% brilliant. And
awesome.
To have Don Johnson and Jonah, we can't see. How are we supposed to
That
do
was
this
really
if
funny.
we can't see?
That was
God
really
damn it,
funny.
this is a raid. It's just like the best. So
yeah, that was great.
amazing scene. So let's go back to Mark.
I guess from Inglourious Bastards, the theater burning scene would be up there for sure. Like that's I guess one of the big scenes in that movie, if not the big.
The
one,
opening scene too is great too, buddy.
Either that or like a tie would be any Christoph Waltz interrogation scene. Like
Christoph Waltz.
When he's the I know he's interrogating the theater owner before she burns it down in like her little office room, but then also just throughout the movie, like
he's fantastic.
Whoever he runs up against, he's gonna get to the bottom of it, and it's just So I'd say any scene with him, or I guess one specifically, the theater burning scene.
Yeah, that was deadly, dude. Okay, I got mine now. The very first scene of Reservoir Dogs. The very first scene, the scene in the coffee house there where they're like talking about Madonna videos and not tipping, and that is brilliant. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Other than that, I would have to say Samuel L. Jackson's scene in Pulp Fiction, where he's just shooting people in that little apartment there, and he does the whole spiel. That whole scene was amazing as well. That was great, and actually it coincided. I thought it was as amazing as the last scene in Pulp Fiction too. But I'm gonna go with the first scene in Reservoir Dogs, guys. Yeah, the very first thing that anybody ever saw of Quentin Tarantino, which is funny because a lot of times with punk albums, I like the first song off the album. That's my favorite song, and or the first album from a band. It's the same way it is. I just love the dialogue, the way the camera. You only needed those actors, and those actors were perfect. Yeah,
Love it. Go check them out, folks, on the internets. And while you're on the internets, go visit our friend Mark at the Kingston Canadian Film Festival. Remind everybody where they can buy tickets and where they can go online to watch all the amazing stuff that you guys are doing, man.
So go to kingcanfilmfest.com or at kingcanfilmfest on any social accounts, and you'll find all about the festival and Chris's workshop, and go to both.
Yeah,
King Can,
buy it up.
Yep.
It's not the one in Kingston, Jamaica. King Can.
King Can.
And Mark is going to give us a pass to give it. We're going to get a pass to give away to one lucky listener to go check out a flick. Go check out a flick and maybe ask a director a question.
So is that a ticket for the online, or is that like the tickets for the
Chris's thing? It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
I was just curious, just to let. Okay, I wasn't sure because
we'll give you a pile of tickets to give away. Yeah,
that's great, dude. We appreciate that. Right on.
Yeah,
that was nice of you, buddy. We'll But the obligation is that if you watch a film for free, you got to buy one. That's just the way it's got to go. You got to
Okay.
do it. You got to do it. So that's how it's going to go. Pay attention to that. We'll give some away in a couple of weeks just before the festival starts. Festival dates, Mark?
February 26th to March 7th.
Wicked.
Yeah.
That's mean Mark Garnis.
Yoo! Good to
Our
see you
good
again,
buddy.
Mark. We'll both be watching
Festival
the game
director.
tomorrow night. We can watch Montreal lose.
Yes.
Go Leafs,
that's,
go.
That'll be my cinema of the week.
I got it. We got to hook up downtown and go skating at least.
Oh yeah, I think that like everything downtown's frozen. People are skating on everything downtown.
I drove by there the other night, and there people are skating. Mark will go down there. We'll body check some people into the snowbanks. Have some fun.
Oh, I'm glad you threw that in. I think you were gonna, a little.
No figure skating here, man. Now we're gonna get our body check on it. We'll just bring our sticks and the puck too, and really just clear the ice.
Stick and puck there, right
Yeah,
down there.
stick and puck
on
day.
the side there. That's right, eh?
Right on, buddy. Say hi to Maura for me, my friend.
All right, guys.
Thanks for coming by, brother. Appreciate it,
thanks,
man.
guys.
Take care,
Yeah,
Mark. Thanks,
guys.
buddy.
All right, talk to you soon.
You bet.
Bye, man.
All right.
Da-da-da-da. That was Mark. What
Fun
a rad
stuff,
dude.
man. Fun stuff. Our old buddy Mark.
It goes so quick here, dude. I was like an hour and 15 minutes right there. Hour and 18 minutes.
How's your bladder doing?
Oh, I'm fine, actually. I'm doing okay. But
That's good. That's a
yeah,
good thing.
It is. It is.
It's yeah, a great guy, great cause. Love what he's doing. Indie films, and not so indie as well, but a
There's
great
some
chance
great
for
films. Like the film I saw, Brent, that Lonnie and my wife and I went and saw, it didn't feel like we were watching an indie film. It was really cool.
Yeah. And I guess everyone has their own definition of indie. I guess if people get their head out of their ass, every film is a film.
It's got to
Right,
start
buddy?
somewhere, man. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
know?
and again, especially if you're like, if you akin your music to movies and you like the beginning of groups or artists, where they come from, man, take a chance. You're not going to lose. I guarantee it. It's great stuff. And that workshop, that comic book workshop, damn.
Gonna be rad.
I heard the guy that's running that comic book workshop is the absolute stuff.
That's right. And if you haven't heard enough about him, he's got a great comic called Escalator. It's coming out issue 2 very shortly.
Yeah, the number one's
And,
right behind my head there still. We're just, I tell you, again, you're doing stuff on your own. The second issue's got so much more dialogue and more pages than the first one. And we're a little late with our placements and our dialogue in there. But the art's all done. We're cruising. I apologize to people who are waiting for it.
No
But
need to apologize. This is like you guys just be patient.
We're
The longer
learning.
you wait, the better that it's going to be. Which means the longer you wait, the closer it is to issue 3.
that's true.
Because they're going to have to double down on their workload. That's just how it's going to
Well,
go.
we're gonna start scanning the other one a little earlier and stuff.
Yeah,
But, doing it all
Skeletron, go
ourselves.
check it out. Now, speaking of comic books, we got a couple minutes left, but I was talking to you earlier about this. The Zack Snyder
Oh
cut
yeah.
is coming for DC. That is the new version of Joker that they've done, which is kind of more on the Clown at Midnight theme of things. They did some reshoots, and by all accounts, this new Snyder cut is going to be great. From what we're told, they've placed it all back together, and hopefully we will get the DC movie we've been hoping for, or I've been hoping for.
So
That,
how much
ties things in.
how much was reshot? Like,
They had to do pickups, and the problem is when they brought the new director in, he basically got rid of everything that Snyder had made.
yeah, it's tough.
And which listen, if you're gonna, it was a bit of a mess, right? And I know they did their best with it, but it was a bit of a mess, and there was just not a lot there. So they added the dream sequence. They've added this bit with Jared Leto, and which I'm not a big fan of, obviously, but listen, they've changed the Joker up a bit, and they're hoping that it'll lead to more of a psychological Joker Batman story down the road about after the death of Robin, and I think they're going to tie a few more things in, and hopefully I never want to say to DC to give up on trying to make things like Marvel, but this has got to be close to their last shot for anyone to take it seriously.
Yeah, well, the Justice League movie was just like the Infinity War movies. You know what I mean? Like the storyline was so damn simple, and DC must have known that that's the way Marvel was heading. Like, you know what I mean? Like they must have known, because Marvel started this storyline way back with the hidden scene of Avengers 1 with Thanos. So they must have known they were heading towards that. DC, you got lots of other villains to choose from. Who made the decision to do that? Like Marvel started their ship first on these movies, right? Heading towards Thanos and the big thing. why would they go with Darkseid? It's the
And I
same.
guess my question to you, Chris, being the expert in this field, is the DC universe that complicated to Marvel? Like
No.
Marvel has a lot of moving parts, but DC really complicated things.
Well, look what Marvel did.
Really?
Well, look at what the X-Men was before.
Sure.
It was, the continuity was ridiculous. I said this before, I'll say it again. DC is not, or has not been willing to commit to canon, to a storyline. They're worried. And my biggest one that shows
Right.
this, well, no,
Yeah.
the biggest example of this, sorry, the biggest example of this is the last Joker movie, man. That was fantastic. This might be outside of the DC universe. We're not sure. What do you mean you're not sure? It's either canon or it's not, man. And that was brilliant. Make it canon. But they won't commit to it. So you got all these DC fans wondering, well, where does everything go here? Well, the Flash just ran around the planet and changed everything again. Stop it. Stop it. Commit to some canon, to some timeline for DC. You know what I mean? Like, there's way too many things that I could bring up here that are ridiculous. Some of the TV shows are really, the Titans TV show is fantastic. Wow, really good. Doom Patrol, bam. Oh, it's crazy. It's amazing. What else have I watched? I like Gotham to a point, and then it just got a little too Hollywoodish
That
for me.
separation, though, of TV and film.
Well, they
is
have
weird.
right, but they have the canon in the TV ones,
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing so well. They're killing Marvel.
Yeah.
Whereas in the movie ones, they won't commit to anything, which is the big picture. And
Totally.
they're scared, I guess, right? Or they haven't got the right guy in there. They just need to send Jim Lee in there, who's a great artist from way back in the day, who's helping run DC things. Do Hush by Batman properly. Lonnie, our producer's nodding her head, yes. Or do The Death of Robin properly with the Joker, so people can feel something, and you start continuity. Let's get
I
some.
thought obviously the standalone flicks that they did with Christian Bale, fine. I mean, to
those
me,
were great.
that
Those were
was
really good.
That's fine.
Actually, the second one was really good.
Yeah, I just mean like they told the origin story. They didn't tie the rest of the universe in, and then
That's
they tried with,
right.
and then even the beginning of Batman versus Superman was like, okay, this is kind of cool, and then it was like, it confused everybody. Batman versus Superman.
yeah.
Why are Batman and Superman fighting? Anyways, we can go on for days about it, but the Snyder Cut's coming out in March on HBO Max, so make sure you check it out if you can. I'm also stoked they've got a Superman and Lois TV show coming out now.
Oh, cool. Okay, well,
They got a new Superman, a new dude.
That'll probably be great. The TV
the
stuff.
square jaw. We'll see what they do. But I got to tell you what I'm most excited about. We just finished Cobra Kai season 3. I know I'm a little late to the game on it. Listen, if you it's made for us, man.
Yeah, it's our age group for sure.
It's our age group, but my kids loved it. It is a little grown uppy in parts, but they really. I'm telling you, man, you're going to love Johnny Lawrence in this thing. And you will love the story, the way you commit to story. You're going to love how they do this, because there's like kids that are villains and there's switching of this. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, I can't believe I get to be the one that tells Chris to go watch Cobra Kai. And he didn't tell me, because
there you go.
Because they really take. And I know it's late. I heard about it years ago, and it was on YouTube originally, and then it got picked up and all the rest of it. But what they've done for character development here, and it's really like no one's winning Emmys for it, but it does exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And to learn the backstory that Zabka, who was Johnny Lawrence, and Ralph Macchio have kind of remained friends through the whole thing and kind of circled back. It's produced by Will Smith. There's like this kind of, I don't know, there's weird kind of like everyone's like, let's tell the story to you and I of what happened after Johnny Lawrence was kicked in the face. And it's like a comic book, but it's like, man, the character development
it's crazy. Oh,
so fun,
isn't
man.
that the key, dude? Like layers,
Yeah.
the characters, and then these characters have it. And the way they bring like old villains back in, you're kind of like, what is going on here?
This is like,
it's so well done, man.
I saw Kevin Smith do something. We reference Kevin a lot on here. Obviously, we named the podcast after him, but he was raving and almost weeping at the end of season 3 about it. And when Kevin gets like that, I think it's great because he does really great breakdowns of shows. But I was like, I really got to give it a chance. So I don't get a chance to gush on here very often, but I got to tell you, anyone watching at home, really give Cobra Kai a shot. There's some lessons for kids in there, big time. Every time I'm watching it with my daughter and something goes on, I just kind of give it a look. She's like, "What?"
Yeah, your daughter's
I'm
at
like,
that
just
age.
don't. Hey, look at the decision that person made, and look at the decision what it led to. There's some really great stuff, but the Johnny Lawrence character, Zabka, to me, deserves an Emmy. He's a producer. He's written it. He's a writer. He's really done a great job with his character on here.
agree.
And the character development is amazing. So, hey, Chris, I got something for you.
What's that?
Cobra Kai. Go
Yeah,
watch
I
it,
know.
buddy.
Yeah, and I've seen a bit of it, and the soundtrack for it, of course, is. there's some
Oh my
good
God, the
tunes in there,
soundtrack.
right?
It's everything, man.
It
The
is.
soundtrack is everything. And the one thing I'm going to give away on this thing, which is just not really ruining anything, is Johnny Lawrence's love for the movie Iron Eagle. And anyone who came through that time and who doesn't know what Iron Eagle is, Jason Gedrick with the tape recorder on his leg and he's playing Queen songs and stuff. That was my Top Gun.
There you
So
go.
anyway, go watch it. Cobra Kai, absolutely deadly. So stoked. One tweet I did make this week though about it is like, hey guys, ease up on the drinking and driving. Because every single scene, someone's wasted and driving their car, and I'm like,
It's in the
every
States.
scene, it's America.
It's in America.
Every
That's
scene.
where it is. Sorry, my
But go
American
watch
friends.
it.
I have a lot of American friends, and I apologize for that. But it's true.
All right, next week we're going to be back with a big episode because
Oh, yeah?
it's going to be
It's
I'm calling it
WandaVision.
because it's WandaVision, the mid-season review of WandaVision. Hopefully, we'll get some of our past guests on here to see where they're feeling about it now. Now that they've seen 6 episodes of it, I think everyone's feeling really good.
I'm feeling correct. I'm feeling pretty damn smart because
That's right.
I'm talking about things. The first episode, the first time we did this,
Yeah.
I gave my opinion, my breakdowns, and I go on YouTube and I don't even want to watch any of the videos because they're like 2 weeks behind me. Them slow guys. Yeah. Smoke. 1 point for Chris Machete and Kids on the Escalator, my friend.
Lots of points. So
Dude.
I'm hoping we'll get Lachlan back on here, maybe Dean. We'll get a whole bunch of people back on here to give us their thoughts now, because it's definitely going the way you said it was going to go, and there's only a handful of episodes left, and then we're going to see.
She's gonna be so effing evil, and it's gonna be awesome.
All right, next week we'll see our co-host Mike back with us. We'll see
Hey,
some
Mike.
WandaVision review. We'll see a whole bunch of different stuff.
Might even
Chris
have
Machete-
issue 2 of Skeletron available. I'm hoping.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Here's
Tell us
hoping.
about all the things you're doing, because you're doing a lot of shit on Twitch, man.
Okay, so coming up, we have Friday nights. We've switched from retro movies to retro video games, and man, is that fun! So Friday nights at 9 o'clock, we are playing some classic Nintendo. We have over 500 games to choose from. There's some weird ones. There's some ones you've heard of, like Donkey Kong and Space Invaders. Man, we're jamming them, and it's fun to watch retro video games, right? And on
Fun to play retro video games.
oh, it's just the best. And Friday night or Mondays, you catch my guitar lessons. I got
And
two
you
or-
guys are showing, so you're not going to do the movies now. It's going to be retro games
we'll
for a while.
bounce around.
Yeah.
Right now,
cool.
well, we got so many retro games to go through, and we just had so much fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, we like to do things. It's fun watching movies, but
And watch Chris do the guitar thing, because the other day,
Monday.
while you're sitting around, and then you can just yell out songs to him, and he's one of the only guys I know that can do it. I'm guessing Todd Kearns and Fitzy can do it. I'm guessing there's a handful of others, but he's one I can yell out, "Hey man, play some Rat," and within about 8 seconds, he's got me a riffarama.
jamming some
You know what I'm
rap.
saying?
Rat! Yes, I was. It was awesome. That's fun, man.
Mm.
I love it. And again, thanks to everybody who showed up, because, man, like 1,000 people checking it out, and that's pretty rad for only my third cast on there. I like it.
We've got we did the thing about the merch. Ignore the other merch, but here's a fancy cup. You want to order that? You can find that on our Streamlabs site
There you go.
and what we're doing.
And these guys are cool, too. If you want to check out
Super Zuka.
Super Zuka, these slashers. Sure.
Absolutely. I got to thank my friends at Blue Microphones. Only half of us are thanking them right now, because the other half doesn't have his mic
I'm
yet.
still using
But
my mic from recording.
My
stuff.
half of the podcast is sponsored by Blue Microphones, who sent me this Yeti X and sent me this, and I'm super stoked about that. It's a hell of a mic and a hell of a headphones, and saved me a pile of money. That helps me with the Brinson on Tour podcast that you can hear Wednesdays. Switch to coffee. People are like sleeping, but listen, it helps you wake up and helps you go to sleep. That's the purpose of the coffee cast. But I got some pretty rad guests on there, man. I got the original Mocha Gel in my first episode.
Nice.
Fantastic. Did coffee for Machine Gun Kelly and Korn, and kind of a big deal amongst them people. So
you're a Machine Gun Kelly fan now.
Those are the kind of guests.
You're a Machine Gun Kelly fan now. Look at you.
No, I'm not, but I'm a Jeremy Gersey fan.
Oh, okay, sorry. Whoa, Machine Gun.
Oh, I have to say something. Listen, a friend of mine, I got to say something about, and I'm not hacking on Machine Gun Kelly, but what I am going to say is I found the greatest review of the Machine Gun Kelly song. And I have to, how do you write the Machine Gun Kelly song? I thought it was brilliant. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Write down some mediocre lyrics, preferably with a pen and paper. This will make the next steps easier. Arbitrarily scratch out half the consonants in the words you just wrote. You won't be needing them. Replace half the consonants you just dropped with extraneous vowels. And it doesn't matter which one. Sing your new song in a shitty voice, because everything he sings has got that. But it's the new rock. Not hacking on him. I just thought it was a funny review. But my first guest did all his coffee, and go check it out. And those are the kind of guests we're getting. We're getting musicians and bands talking coffee. It's not just coffee snobs and assholes.
You know what? You know why I like coffee? Keeps me regular.
that's it. Well, if you do it right,
Does.
Yeah. And for everyone watching at home, don't say my Timmy's. If you do, you can stop watching the show.
I make my coffee at home. I don't even know what I buy, man, but it keeps me regular.
I'm just saying the term my Timmy's.
Okay.
How's your day? Well, I started by getting my Timmy's.
Right. Yeah, I'm not. Actually, I'm not I find it, anytime I've gotten it, anytime I've picked up Timmy's coffee, and man, I haven't remember the last time I've done it, but it always tastes burnt.
It's the term I'm talking about. Well,
no, I get that. No, I get that.
Well.
I get the
it's
term.
Burnt shites
I get
well.
the term you're talking about for sure.
How you mess up an Americano to me boggles my mind. But your premier is all happy about the new egg sandwich instead of fixing COVID. So go Ontario.
Hey, man. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's the PC guy. I don't know what to tell you about this. I don't do politics, man. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Drink great coffee. Watch our show. Do things. Buy Chris's comic. Tune in Mondays to him. Tune in Wednesdays to me. Tune in back on Fridays to him. Keep doing the thing, and definitely tune in next week for more WandaVision.
Yeah, and you never know who we're gonna have on the show. We'll have some guests. It'll be cool.
People. That's Chris Machete. I am Brent from the Brent on Tour podcast. Good times.
Rad dudes.
See everybody.
You gotta be fresh.